Welcome everyone to Stock Talk for July 25th. This is Google. You can see aftermarket today, Google's pushing quite nicely to the upside right now. Again, we have a heavy earnings day today. So we had Google, Amazon, Intel reporting, and not everyone was favorable. You look at Amazon, came down a little bit, I think, after earnings. And then, so we got a lot of stocks reporting. When we look at the S&P 500 intraday chart, you can see that pre-market we made a high again, but this was not recorded when we look at the daily time frame, because the daily time frame we have to be inside the trading day. That is, it's from 9:30 a.m. Eastern time to 4 p.m. Eastern time, right? So here was the move yesterday. Here's the move today, and we pretty much retraced most of the move, not all of the move, but most of the move. Now, the question here is this concerning? Have we flipped from bullish to bearish because of today? Well, let's take a look at it from the daily time frame, as we always do. So you tell me that if this candle here tells us that this is more of a reversal sign back to the downside, or this is just a consolidation for potentially more upside. Well, the answer has to be this looks like more a consolidation for potentially more upside, right? We're still above all the moving averages, so while the markets did come back a little bit today, we don't have a definitive signal of a reversal, okay? All right, let's take a look at some of the other charts to see if they're concerning. Well, let's take a look at Dow and the Dow futures. Here was the candle that was made today. This doesn't tell us a reversal signal. This tells us that we are still consolidating in this range. And when we're consolidating, the most likely scenario, especially with all the moving averages pushing higher, is another push higher, okay? All right, let's take a look at NQ and see if NQ is pointing towards a different story. Well, NQ, I can almost say that today we came and retested this higher high line and we bounced off of it. So far, things are still looking okay. I think initially what looked like a pretty not enticing candle at the end of the day, because we closed down here, but after market we pushed higher based off of earnings, and look at the candle that was formed right now. So this still looks positive. This still is an uptrend. What are we doing? Well, we pushed to an all-time high yesterday. Today was the run-of-the-mill consolidation day for markets, and that's all we can take from it. So, okay, let's move on and talk about what other things we see. Let's see if other signals, such as volatility, is giving us something different. Let's take a look at TVIX and the daily time frame to see if we can see a flip side of things. Did volatility make a higher high? Did TVIX make a higher high today? That's the first step in terms of finding a reversal pattern, right? Well, how do we make a higher high? Well, first we have to exceed, in my opinion, $15. If we can exceed $15, I can say, hey, maybe something else is going on in the markets and we got to place some more caution. But for now, look at this downtrending line. Look at this, pattern in which we get towards the 20 and we get rejected. Today, I can almost say was no different. So right now, this doesn't tell me that markets are going to slide lower in the coming days. And until we can see proof of that happening, it still looks more bullish than bearish right now. So that's TVIX. And like I said, we have to first get over $15, I think. Otherwise, it's just going to be another lower high, another downtrending pattern. Okay, next up is crude oil. So we mentioned for crude oil, it's a simple thing. Above all the moving averages, we will be bullish. Below, and we are more bearish, right? We have support levels down here at around 55.50 and around 54.30, but we're still showing a rejection off of that area. Until we can get over, that would be bullish. So look for those moving averages and they're getting very close together. So you can imagine the importance of the moving averages as we progress on. Okay. Natural gas is still showing a downtrend. Unfortunately for natural gas, what's been happening is we've gotten rejected off of these moving averages, and we have a support line that we broke, and this looks like it continues to push lower. So while we're looking for a potential natural gas reversal, we don't see it just yet off of this chart. So it doesn't give me enough confidence to say that this has reversed back to the upside. As you can see, even on these peaks, we're still making these major lower highs. And when I talk about major lower highs, it's the area in which we get near the 50 and we then break apart. And this is still downtrending. And until we can see something different, with at least the 20 and the 50 pushing, or pointing higher, this is still downtrending for natural gas. Flipping through the charts rather quickly today for GC gold futures, you can see it's still holding over the support of the 20-period moving average, but one should always note that there is another support down around 1400 to 1390 that is another range of support. So we're at support right now, but we have a potential of breaking that and coming down here to find another support level. So we have support levels nearby, but gold can fall a little bit lower. In the big picture, the big scheme of things, this is consolidating. So while it can push a little bit lower, it can consolidate for another retest of the resistance of 1430 and 1450 if we can get there. So just keep that in mind. Right now, it's still consolidating, as we can see. All right. That was quick. Let's take a look at your comments. So we'll start with the first comment that was made. That was Steve. Booyah, new video. Thanks, Kevin. You're welcome. Glad you enjoy these videos. Keep coming back. Keep on watching them. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe button. Take a look at that link. What is that link? It's the course that I teach. So just take a look if you're interested. All right, Doku, Eric. Doku, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so for Doku, you want to keep this in mind, okay? There is a pretty definitive resistance right now off of this area. Okay, this is your resistance. I might even give it a little bit more, 54.54 as the resistance. Your support level is down here, okay? And this is almost like a wedge pattern. It looks like a bull flag pattern, but it's almost like a wedge pattern right now. You can see it broke down a little bit, and then we went above, okay? So my point here is that it's a difficult pattern to say. However, you can see the lower end of the range, right? The lower in the range is the 200-period moving average at $49. That seems to be like a good price point as a support, right? Where's your resistance? Well, your resistance has to be this line of around $54, $53. Those are your resistance areas. So keeping that in mind, you should know that there is a potential for this one to come down a little bit more, okay? So we're still in this range, and it can trade in a little bit more of this range until we see a clear break in one direction or the other. All right, so that is Doku. Interesting pattern. Coolios, thoughts on Snap? I have made my decision. Options trading on what to do, but wouldn't mind hearing someone else's opinion. Snapchat. Okay. All right. So with Snap, clearly this is on an uptrend, right? There's no doubt that it's on an uptrend. Now, it's a tricky pattern because what we can see is the move is up, okay? So it's uptrending and it's strong. Now, are we a little bit overextended over the moving average, the 20 period? Yeah. But in the past, if we're overextended, we can either consolidate or even move a little bit lower before a push higher. This was based off of earnings, you can see. Let's see if we can see differently on the weekly time frame. Let's take a look. Right, so with the weekly time frame, I think you can see there's a resistance up here at $18. There's another major resistance at 2050. So those are your major resistance levels that you want to keep in mind. So actually, let me just draw this in for you. So draw it in and make sure that they're all lined up. So those are your resistance, and here's another resistance. So you have resistance areas, but we're on an uptrending pattern, okay? So the question here is, do we see a shift or a reversal just yet? The answer is no. We haven't seen a reversal just yet for Snapchat, right? On the weekly time frame, we don't see a reversal. On the daily time frame, we don't see a reversal. So the trend is still up. Okay? So even though we're at resistance, the trend is still up. Usually, if you're trying to spot a reversal, what I like to see is, at a minimum, give it a couple of days and see that sign of that push lower instead of guessing when the trend is up, the push lower, right? And this goes especially with Snap. When you look at this 2050 bullish cross, right? We have something to lean on in terms of bullish moves to the upside. So I'm favoring more upside despite us being at a resistance. But this is actually a pretty strong pattern. It kind of tells me it might want to push. It might want to continue pushing higher. So point here is I wouldn't try to guess the top here. I want to see the top, see us coming lower, and then grab onto a short position first. You know what I mean? I think that's a little bit more safe. If you're shorting. I don't know what you're doing though. And then Rico, thanks for going over your ticker. Have a great trading day. I hope you had a great trading day as well, with all of your trades. All right, great. So I think that is all the comments for today or yesterday. I appreciate everyone watching this video once again, and I hope you had a great trading day, just as Rico said. So have a great day. I talk to everyone very soon.